Hello and welcome. As many of you know, the new heist for GTA Online has come out. And for those of you who don't know, don't worry because I'll be showing you how to get the heist and get it started. Also, I'll be breaking down the scope outs and my experience going through the heist and what was the best and easiest methods I found to get through the heist, including the best setups and entry points. But before we get started, I need to address some controversies on the internet about the buffs and the nerfs and also the payout of the heist. Here we go. As you can see on the chart, all the heists on the left of the chart have gone down in price, which is not good. But we also got a buff depending on how you want to look at it. So once a week, you have a heist multiplier. And here is the good and bad news about this from my perspective. And maybe you won't agree, but that's okay. So starting with the bad news, the obvious decrease of heists is really frustrating. Each time you do the heist, the price will go down. This will affect mostly the newer players as they don't have many businesses as older players. And Rockstar have intentionally or unintentionally made it more difficult for newer players to make money. And here's the good news about this. But then again, the good news would only apply to the older players, mostly due to the abundance of businesses and heists. And again, this is my perspective, and maybe you might disagree, but that's fine. But the good news is that you can play multiple heists within the week. And if you just do the heist one time, you get more money due to the buff on the weekly multiplier challenge. This also means that your gameplay experience will be far more enjoyable as you're not spamming the same heist consistently, making the replayability far more enjoyable. Getting started with how to get the new heist. Open up your phone and go to the internet app and look for the Pricks Luxury Real Estate tab. You will have options of mansions you can buy. So yes, you need to have a mansion, unfortunately, to even get the heist. On here, you will have an option of free properties you can get. I personally recommend the Richmond Villa, but in this video, I'm using my second account and I have the mansion at the top, the one closest to the military base, which is the second best option, as you have some setups that are in the military base, which is the military weapons. And if you want to steal the Annihilator stealth helicopter, is also there. Once you have your mansion, you can get the art studio. This is needed for the heist as you will be stealing art. And yes, it is very expensive, but if you've done the elitist challenge before the heist came out, then you have a $1 million discount. And there's two ways you can get the art studio. You can either get it through the website or you can go to any monitor in your mansion and buy it at the bottom of the tab. Right, time for the scope out. But before we start the scope out, make sure you take a screenshot of this or take a photo of the model in the art studio or anything you have that can take a photo, so it will be easier for you to find these blue pinned areas to send to RAF. Some of these blue pinned areas are the same thing, so you don't have to go to every pin. But anyways, in a moment, I'll be showing you where the pins are from the gameplay so you can see in real time what I mean. Right, first things first, when you arrive, you will have to go to the CCTV room so you can scope out the art piece that you will be stealing. Pretty simple. Once you come in, go to the right side where the staff doors are, and then you just got to avoid this one camera up here, go through and knock out this guy. Then you can access the CCTV. Right, this CCTV office is going to be very important when you're in your heist doing the final mission. You're going to have to come here, so if you want to get the full payout, make sure you wipe all the evidence against you. So this is the security door room next to the CCTV office where you're going to have to put a code in which Raf will send to you on your phone. So no worry, it's pretty easy. Just put a code in and you're done. Those of you who know, but this is the most frustrating part of the whole heist. The vault door where the lasers are. You can go sneaky, silent, all you want throughout the whole heist. And once you get touched by one of these bad boys, it's done. The alarms turn on, you get alerted. So if you guys want to learn how to get better at the laser, there's a few content creators out there on YouTube that have already explained how to get through it. So just check them out, go on YouTube and write it down. You should be able to find it. It is difficult, but it's a way to learn and a way to get through it. Okay, so this is the vault. So this is where you're going to find your main painting and a few secondary targets, some small paintings that you can also steal. They're not as expensive as the ones that you can find in the gallery, but they've still got some good value targets in there. Moving to the loading bay, if you go all the way to the right and you zoom into the truck, you'll get a signal as a secondary target. There's some extra goods inside a box, but you'll need to find a crowbar, which is close by. The maintenance room has a hatchet where you can come in if you get the hazmat suit, and then you can go through the sewer, which you'll be able to do as an entry point. The exhibit level 3 is another entry point, but you're going to have to go up on the roof and take a picture of the skylight on top. The exhibit level 2 has a load of secondary targets that you can get and steal, but you can only do it more than one player. So if you're going to go solo, remember, you won't be able to go in there. But if you are going to do this with more than one player, one of you are going to have to be on the CCTV to open the doors whilst one of you go inside. Once you've scoped out the cameras, Raf will send you a list of 2 or 3 items that is like a client list. So if you get these ones, you'll get like an elite challenge if you complete the elite challenge, which then in return will give you extra money. Unfortunately, some of these will be in that exhibit level 2 where you need more than one person to do it. So if you can't get those ones, don't worry about it. You're just going to have to wait until the next heist to get some on the main floor. But anyways, the easiest way to find these client list items, you will have each painting and each statue or glass cabinet will have a plaque giving the name of the object. So you could just compare it to the phone message and you should be able to just take a photo of it and you're sorted. And it should appear as a gold money sign so you know which one's part of the client list. If you want to smash up any of the glass containers, you have to go downstairs and take a picture of this alarm thing here that you'll then need to deactivate when you're in the heist. So then you can smash the glass containers. But the taller, longer glass containers, you'll have to get an optional heist setup mission, which will have a plasma cutter that you can steal and then use during the heist. Right, here we go. Now we're going to take pictures of the blue pinned areas that we saw on that model. The first one, you go to the left and you take the picture of the staff entrance, which is easy. Just take a picture, send it to Raf, done. Then what you want to do is go all the way up the stairs. You want to go find yourself at the roof where you'll find an electric box at the very top. You want to take a photo of that. And this is what I meant by there's numerous blue pins that are the same thing. So you have numerous boxes you can take a picture of. But I just went and took a picture of this one because just above you have the skylight, which you can take a picture of as well, which will be one of your entry points if you choose to go this route. Most simple and fastest way to go to the next spot to take a photo. This is another one that has multiple blimps on the map, about 3 of them. It's this land tower right here. You want to take a photo of that and then you're sorted. Right, guys, the next photo is the most difficult because it's in a maze. But I've got a cheeky little trick to show you. So you go all the way down here. You just look over the balcony here and you zoom into the sewage and take a photo there. And there you go, guys. That little cheeky trick there will skip you that run around the maze there. By the way, though, guys, if you do want to go through the sewer entry point, you're going to have to find a big key that is somewhere around this area. I couldn't find it just in this recording, but I managed to find it when I was doing the heist. You'll be able to find that sewer key in any area in the Kortz Center where there's building materials and building tables. So just have a look around, you should be able to find it. But just bear in mind, it doesn't always spawn in the same area where you've got the construction materials and tables. And finally, for one of the easiest entry points, I believe, in my opinion, is this one here in the car park. You'll find you just take a picture of this garage here down this ramp and you should be set. Also, guys, if you want another cheeky trick and make your scope out even faster, if you have a Sparrow or a Mark II oppressor, you can also use those and fly them around and take pictures through them. It'll make your life easier if you can do that. If you can't, then don't worry about it. Just follow the way I done it there and I showed you. Right, guys, now when it comes to the heist and the setups, I recommend doing all of them, as in like try a different one each time you do the heist. But if you want the fastest and easiest form, then I recommend if you go with the infiltration gear, you go with the van. With the weapons, it's a bit difficult to say because you get street loadout, you have security loadout, and you got military loadout. So the street loadout is probably the easiest one to get. But I go for the military loadout because you get into a gunfight. If you touch the laser, like I said before, and you alert security, the military loadout is far better when it comes to gunfights compared to the street loadout. But the street loadout might be slightly easier to get, but I always recommend getting the better guns, but it's entirely up to you. I'd probably say the same thing with the getaway vehicles. Most of the time I go for the Annihilator Stealth because that just flies me away and it's perfect. Well, I say perfect, but the pilot's a bit of a crackhead sometimes. He doesn't know how to fly and you pay 1.2 million to get a better flight experience and it's still not that great. But still, the Annihilator Stealth helicopter is pretty simple. But you can also use the armored truck, which is great. And the mission to go get the armored pickup is really fun. So if you want to get that one, I recommend playing that setup. It's actually quite enjoyable. You just have to plan out your exit route because the plane's going to be up on the roof and the truckers are going to be out on the car park. So just make sure you plan out your exit routes. Then you want to get 2 optional prep works, which is the guard shipment and the guard routes. And here's why. If you get the guard routes, you'll be able to see the guards on the minimap, so you'll know where they are and you can avoid them at all costs. And then the guard shipments is also great because then they won't have any body armor or helmets on. So if you do get into a gunfight, it'll be far easier to shoot at the guards and get away. And here's another little tip and trick. If you want to make your heist experience a bit smoother button quicker, you can call Raf to continue other missions or setups in your heist. So if there's certain things that you don't have to bring back to the mansion, you can just call Raf and continue the heists, setups, and optional setups through the phone. Well, guys, if you've come this far into the video, I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Hit the follow or subscribe, whatever platform you're watching this on. Share it to your friends, whoever plays GTA Online. And if you want to see more content like this and future content of GTA 6 when it comes out, stay tuned. Peace out. Cheers.